I'm a computational ecologist. I work with biologists who are interested in everything from behavior of animals to really saving the biodiversity of the planet. And the work, the computational solutions that I come up with really immediately have to be deployed. And they help answer the questions of why do animals do what they do, to how we can leverage that information to really save and help conserve the wildlife species. Africa is particularly important. Not only it has an amazing biodiversity with an array of species that is richer than almost anywhere in the world, and many charismatic but highly endangered species, it is also that these species are indicators of the health of the rest of the planet quite often. And so if we can solve these problems, if we learn how to solve these problems here on this continent, we can really extend it to the rest of the world. And it is so much more critical quite often to do it here because of the abundance of, unfortunately, of critically endangered species. So we work on this continent quite a bit to learn how to save the biodiversity of the planet. So as a computational ecologist, I work at the intersection of biology, social sciences, and computer science. And being an interdisciplinary researcher, interdisciplinary scientist, really brings certain unique challenges to my work. Not only I have to speak many scientific languages to be able to communicate with biologists and conservation managers and policymakers, and translate their questions that they're asking into computational abstractions that then I can go ahead and find the computational solutions for, and then be able to translate it back. But it is also both exciting, challenging, and motivating to know that the computational solutions that I am designing are going to have an immediate impact and perhaps even help save the species out there, or maybe help discover some deep secrets of the life on this earth. It does bring certain challenges with us also because I have to be able to, as a scientist, I have to be able to define these questions, to bring together interdisciplinary teams of the experts that work with each other well, find the funding, find the students, train the students that work on these questions together to really come up with a team solution. None of the publications that I have are single author. None of the projects that I have are single person projects. They're all team. And so this collaborative approach, collaborative interdisciplinary research, I think is not only key to what I do, I think this is going to be the way to do science in the future. As a woman in computer science, I'm one of very, very few people like me doing what I do. All over the world, while the number of women in computer science changes by country and by industry versus academia, in general is still around only about 20% in most of the places of women in any way engaged in computer science. And so this brings challenges all the way from the early childhood years of making sure that girls who are interested in math continue to be interested in math, continue to be interested in technology, and then training, giving access to the same education and the same motivation. So here, where being an interdisciplinary scientist who works with biologists, who works in this highly motivating application of conservation, actually helps. Because quite often, people do not come to computer science because it's seen as this discipline where you're completely focused on math and engineering, on what can this machine do. But the motivation of conservation, the motivation of solving biological problems, actually then enables people who are interested in an application but are strong in computational approaches and computational thinking to use that to answer these questions rather than focusing on the computer science as a core in and of itself. And so that brings in quite a diverse body of students and then researchers to this area who are excited and motivated by the outcome of the computational solutions and computational research. And so the challenge of being a woman is to be able to work in an area where my uniqueness is not a disadvantage, where the different way of thinking, the different way of looking at a question, the different way of coming up with a solution is actually an advantage. It's actually good because it brings me to the areas where, and places where nobody has gone before me, and allows me to work in this super exciting area and come up with solutions that others perhaps would have not come up, and make an impact, make a difference.